The Fairytale Patient. The Fairytale Patient is a fan-made audiobook, a reimagination of the classic Wizard of Oz, written, recorded, and directed by author Harish Chidambaram. Author Harish Chidambaram is the author of 20 best-selling spiritual sci-fi, fantasy books published by the GC Universe Books. Major characters are Dorothy Gale, Dr. Oscar Osborne, Glinda, Lynn Strawman, Billy Frost, Butch Hartman, Aunt M, Uncle M, and Margaret.
I am Dr. Osborne, a psychologist. Psychology is a part of illusion, to understand the depth of which I learned the art of illusion and tactics. So when the kids come to me, I use a couple of tricks and make them feel like home. Their problem is not actually a problem at all. They lovingly call me Dr. Oz. I met a patient who was quiet, challenging to deal with because her problem was she thinks I'm a wizard. Of course, it was me who made her think that way when I met her as I newly moved into Kansas City. She was a waitress on a motel.
That'd be $20, mister.
Osborne.
Osborne, nice to know you. I hope you had a happy meal.
Where do you think I am? McDonald's?
$20, sir.
She had a pretty good impression on my weird sense of humor. I turned the $10 into $20 using an illusion trick.
Huh. You are a wizard.
She was gazing at me in awe. I gently bowed down with a gentle smile and left the motel. Of course, what would a 16-year-old from Kansas City with no exposure to the real world think? But I never thought this little trick would go to distance. She knocked at my office for an appointment and was surprised to look at me.
The wizard!
So, Miss Dorothy Gale.
That's right.
You know me very well.
Correct?
Why are you here?
Well, my Aunt M, who runs the motel, thinks something is wrong with me, and she asked me to get an appointment with the therapist. And here you are, the Wizard of Oz.
Oz?
Yes, isn't that right?
Of course, a lot of people lovingly call me Oz.
See, I am not a Waco or something, but people think I'm nuts.
And why would they think that?
Because nobody believes in magic.
It appears you narrated my $20 trick to everyone. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to substantiate evidence to prove that you're doing just fine, and you're not a Waco, if that's what you call, right?
Yes.
But it won't be possible without your cooperation, for which I need your help. Okay, so I would be able to proclaim that this girl helped me in medical analysis, and so she is not a mentally ill patient, all right?
Yes, it'd be wonderful.
Let's begin with the basics, like, where do you live? What you do? Of course, I know you're a waitress, but for the record, what's your background?
Well, I grew up with my aunt and uncle in their barn. I go to school in the morning and afternoon. I'm a waitress at Auntie M's. Of course, that's my aunt's motel that I work.
What do your parents do?
They moved to New York, and after my elementary, they could not take care of me because of their lives. So they moved me back to their hometown, which is,
Kansas.
Kansas. So I live here at my aunt's barn.
And what is your favorite hobby?
I read fairy tales.
You read Fairytale? That's really nice. Have you picked up on it something?
Like what?
Like a theater where you, enact Fairytale.
No, but there is this recent wonderful game with my ruby slippers developed by my parents from New York. I am in love with it.
I see, and your parents are game developers at New York?
Yes, and they gifted a pair of ruby slippers kept safe at the town at the community hall for my birthday.
That's amazing. Why don't you, tell us about this game?
It's a wish play. You wish for something, and it happens. That's how I came to meet you at the Land of Oz. You know that. You've played the game, too. Why would you be here?
Oh, yeah, that game. Sorry, Dorothy, after I came here. Nobody believed in magic, so I forgot how to play it, and I'm stuck here. But you need to live, so I picked up this job as a therapist.
Oh, that's really sad. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. Why don't you refresh my memory? You see, it would be helpful for me to get back to Oz.
Oh, the Emerald City Castle, that's wonderful. You go to the station, pick up the ruby slippers, and you truly wishfully feel it. There is no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Dorothy mentally travels back to the past where it all began. In her past, as she described, she is wearing a red ruby slippers on her waitress costume. Clicking it thrice, she says, "There is no place like home. There is no place like home. There is no place like home." She gets transmitted into her Kansas barn. She goes towards her room calling out to Auntie M. Auntie M pushes her into the house and screams as there is heavy wind blowing.
Stay put!
Where are you going?
It's a twister. It's a twister.
We're going underground. Use the underground door inside the house and meet us below Dorothy.
as described by my patient, Miss Dorothy Gale. The tornado spun and wobbled the wooden house, dropping them into the land of Oz, where every character was different. Her school principal, Margaret, was Wicked Witch of the West. Billy was the Cowardly Lion. Butch Hartman was Tin Man, and Lynn Strawman was Scarecrow. Dr. Oz, which is me, was the Wizard of Oz at Emerald City. Glinda the Good Witch was Dr. Oz's girlfriend at Kansas City. She met the Scarecrow at the farm, who said he doesn't have a brain, so he doesn't know how to go to meet the wizard. Dorothy takes him to meet the Wizard of Oz through the forest, and she meets scary trees, which scares the Scarecrow, and a lion who gets scared by her dog Toto.
You are scared of dogs?
I don't have courage.
Boy, what a poop!
There is this wizard. If he can give me brain, he can give you courage.
As Dorothy continued about narrating her adventures, she said she meets a Tin Man who strikes down the flying monkeys who are about to take Dorothy away to have her ruby slippers handed over to the witch. Dorothy felt slightly pity for a flying monkey that was injured on the ground.
How rude. How can you treat animals with such an unkind act?
What do I do? Stare at them, watch it take you away like a wimp?
How rude again.
Dorothy, I can't risk your life when it's in danger.
Have a heart, Tin Man.
Heart is what I don't have. That is why I've been in this trash can for weeks.
The wizard.
She further said they rested at a place where they built a hut for the three, and Dorothy took care of the plants all around. She watered them at the outskirts of Emerald City. They settled down and were ready to meet the wizard the next day. The next morning, the Wicked Witch of the West flew in her broom, laughing vicariously, and landed at the hut. Dorothy, who was watering the plants, panicked and splashed the water on the witch, and she was gone. Forever. Puff she goes down with only her costume falling on the ground. The Munchkins celebrate the departing of Wicked Witch with a ding-dong song. The Lollipop Guild gifts her a gift. The flying broom flew without a control, rapidly taking away a bunch of Munchkins. Lion leaped to the skies and caught the broom, saved the Munchkins. Dorothy meets the wizard at the Emerald City Castle. Oz reveals to them. Scarecrow, when Lion was scared, you convinced him that the wizard can give you courage.
Yes.
How can you convince him if you don't have a brain?
I don't know.
Forget convincing. How did you speak if you don't have a brain?
I don't know.
It means you already have one. You just don't know how to use it the right way. I certify you with a gift certificate. Lion, when the Munchkins were kidnapped, you sprung to save them.
Yes.
I say you acted as the king of the jungle. You have enough courage to rule the forest, but you just didn't have the right time to see it manifesting. I crown you with golden crown. Tin Man, when Dorothy was about to be kidnapped, you saved her by striking down the flying monkeys.
Yes.
How can you do that until you have a soft corner for Dorothy?
Well, Dorothy is a very good friend, and I like her very much.
You already have a heart, Tin Man. I pronounce you and Dorothy husband and wife.
But I want to go back home. You see, I have a job to take care of, and Auntie M would be worried about me.
Don't worry, my dear. I shall take you and Tin Man on my balloon as newlyweds.
The Wizard of Oz takes me with my Tin Man husband on his balloon, with garlands titled Newlyweds on his balloon basket. Oz throws a kidney bean-shaped stone onto the clouds, and it forms a tornado.
Do not panic, dearie. This tornado is actually a tunnel that would lead us all to Kansas City.
Balloon moves to the tunnel, and I land on my home along with Tin Man. Tin Man in front of me transforms into Butch Hartman. Butch, you are the Tin Man?
Looks like the tornado is gone.
Yeah.
As she concluded, Dorothy smiles and they walk out of the house. Auntie M and the rest open the door and come out inquiring each other and assuring Dorothy is all right. Dorothy smiles at Butch, coying.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was the best ruby slippers my parents have ever gifted to me. It's the best birthday present ever.
How nice of you to refresh my memories, Dorothy. Well, now I can take my wife Glinda to Oz. But before that, we need to substantiate evidence that you're doing just fine. So, if you don't mind, I shall begin the paperwork for it right away. And I will have a couple of more sessions with you so that I can process these evidence to prove that you are perfectly fine.
Thank you, Wizard.
You are welcome, dearie. You see, sometimes when kids grow up and find out life is not that happily ever after as the fairy tale, there are possibilities of hallucinations that makes them feel at ease.
Oh my.
No need to panic. No need to panic. We can cure this thing. We have our ways to prove them what is real and what is unreal. But we don't know that yet.
What do you mean, Doctor?
I mean, I need to observe Dorothy room before I come to a conclusion.
It's that way.
May I see her birthday present?
Birthday present?
The birthday present. Dorothy said her parents gifted her a pair of red ruby slippers.
I'm afraid you will never find it, Doctor.
Why?
That's one among those things she talks about. It doesn't exist.
Mr. and Mrs. M, can you please do me a favor?
What is it?
Until everything becomes all right, can you please play along, Dorothy, that, whatever she says is real?
Sure, we can do that.
The wizard. Would you like to have some coffee?
No, thank you, my dear. I came to say goodbye, as I will be coming and going to Kansas with my wife.
Oh, have a nice trip.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So I visited the motel during Dorothy's school hours. I found 3 of her classmates present at the motel. You two are Dorothy's friends, aren't you?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Well, she works here and I come with my wife Glinda pretty often. Why are you 3 not in school?
We kinda bunked it to meet the rock star at Gale's station today.
Gale's station?
Yeah, Dorothy's parents, they opened a virtual game center near Tutsi for her birthday. Guess who is coming for music album publicity? Rosario Dawson.
Oh, where is this station you said?
Tutsi, nearby the Don Pippi Mexican restaurant.
Can I come with you?
As long as you don't tell our parents.
I visited the station, and I met the music stars and concerts, the caretaker of the station, who is also a Gale. Showed me around. The celebrities provided with a wireless glass, which is connected the wireless to the big screen. She chooses how her costume and character is going to be on screen inside that huge hall. The caretaker says, whoever wants to have some fun evening with celebrity can don the glasses and choose their characters. I and my wife put on their glasses and choose their characters as Oz in The Good Witch. The celebrity chooses the Wicked Witch character and the boys their favorites. On the screen, everyone is wearing a red ruby slippers and shoes according to their profile. The instructor here instructs how to proceed with the game.
Now choose your lands where you are going to walk around on the screen that will appear on your virtual glasses, and then say the password, "There is no place like home," 3 times.
Manipulating brainwaves.
Looks so real.
She was telling the truth.
So that's what she is talking about.
Feels so real.
She just didn't know that she's into a virtual reality game.